In 2022, Jelly Roll was taken aback by the 563-pound weight that he saw on the scale. Everyone was taken aback by the country star's transformation 3 years later. He demolished 150 pounds in just 6 months after going from selling out venues to overdosing in prison and devouring entire wedding cakes. Here we learn how a man with a history of drug dealing became country music's biggest unexpected star. He came into this world on December 4th, 1984, in the impoverished neighborhood of Antioch, Tennessee, not far from Nashville. He goes by the name Jelly Roll on stage. He began his life amidst disorder. His mother, Donna, was struggling with substance abuse and mental illness. His father, Bud, was a bookie for illicit gambling and also ran a meat business. This led Jelly Roll to an unstable and chaotic household throughout her childhood. He was nicknamed Jelly Roll by his mom due to his obesity. Nobody anticipated that this name would achieve such fame in due time. He was 3 years younger than his larger half-siblings. Out of 4 siblings, he was the youngest. Despite the difficulties at home, Jelly Roll found solace in music. His first rap song, written when he was just 9 years old, was a precursor to the talent that would transform his life. His hometown of Antioch was not an ideal environment for children to grow up in. Drug use and criminal activity were rampant in the area, which was severely impoverished. In order to make ends meet, many of the residents of the area had to resort to illegal labor since they were unemployed. Jelly Roll claimed he had no acquaintances who had steady employment when he was younger. Not only were the local schools overcrowded, but they also lacked the necessary funding. He shouldn't have had to witness things like drive-by murders and his cousin's death as a result of gang violence at the age of 12. Neither did he attend classes frequently. He accepted criminal activity as par for the course because he lived here. At 14 years old, he was familiar with a wide variety of drugs and their street prices, but he still struggled with basic arithmetic. The environment unsurprisingly played a significant role in shaping his early decisions. A first arrest came to Jelly Roll when he was 14 years old. He was apprehended after stealing marijuana and cigarettes from a store. This minor infraction triggered a cascade of issues. For the following decade, he spent a lot of time incarcerated. However, a significant event occurred during his time in prison. On September 3, 2000, at the tender age of 15, Jelly Roll penned his debut rap single. While incarcerated at the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Center, he began to write on an unapproved grocery form using a pencil that was not authorized to be in his possession. He just did it, no matter what was going on in his life. Living on the streets of Antioch was a real issue for Jelly Roll in his early songs. He admired EGC and 3-6 Mafia because their music sounded authentic, similar to his own. He composed over 100 songs during his time behind bars. He had completed all of them by the time he turned 17 in 2001. He was gifted in a unique way. One of his songs, Streets Don't Love Nobody, was performed at a 2002 music concert held at the Woodland Hills Youth Center. They assisted a music educator from a different school in creating his initial demo tape. Jelly Roll utilized borrowed gear to create 5 tracks after that, which impressed them greatly. Regardless of its flaws, it marked a significant milestone in his path to a singing career. An early mixtape of his, Halfway House, was released in 2005. In Antioch, in the basement of his mother's house, he taped it. His ordeals and aspirations for a brighter future were the themes of the 18 songs comprising the mixtape. To the delight of local radio stations and nightclubs, Hate Goes On rose to fame. 110 people played it, very frequently over the course of a few months on the beat. Jelly Roll made 1,000 CDs with his last $500 because he was strapped for cash. From his car, he peddled them at convenience stores and hair salons. The music video for Think I Give Off, which has local rapper Haystack in it, went viral on YouTube. Even as a young child, Jelly Roll's life was... At the age of 12, he started partaking in alcohol and cannabis use. As a teenager, he experimented with cocaine. He experimented with cocaine. Peddler began his career when he was 15 years old. When he and his mom were younger, they subsisted mostly on marijuana sales. His reputation as a drug dealer in his area skyrocketed after that. As he grew older, his condition deteriorated further. At the age of 18, he was routinely consuming illicit narcotic mixtures containing cocaine, Xanax, and codeine. He even passed away in 2006 from a combination of alcohol, MDMA, and cocaine. When his heart stopped beating for 2 minutes, doctors were able to revive him. After this near miss, he couldn't continue. Jelly Roll did not begin to address his problem until his most recent incarceration in 2008. He began expressing himself musically after attending a 12-step group. He was able to cope and recover with the help of writing. After seeing Jelly Roll's 10-minute tune on YouTube in 2009, Lil White, a rapper hailing from Memphis, contacted him via text message. A major turning point in his career occurred at this point. The song Pop Another Pill, which they co-wrote, was an unexpected success upon its release on April 20, 2009. After the song went viral on YouTube, Jelly Roll became well known. The fact that Jelly Roll, Lil White, and another rapper named EPS started the group makes the name Snow come from somewhere. With the help of Juicy J and DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia, they put out an album that same year, 2011, titled Year Round. The billboards included it as well. He became close to his audience through his frequent live performances and candid YouTube videos about his life. EP mixtapes to his name. He became close to his audience through his frequent live performances and candid YouTube videos about his life. Guests were even invited to join him at different Waffle House locations for meet and greets. His meeting events became famous because his fans would go to extraordinary lengths to meet him. Jell found solace in music as he dealt with his pain. His album Addiction Kills was released in 2015. Songs like RX, which dealt with his struggle with addiction, were deeply moving. His 2020 decision to commit to sobriety coincided with the release of his song Save Me, which he wrote. Since it came straight from the heart, many people loved it. Better still, the song was a smashing success, and he was presented with a platinum award for it. Optimism isn't the only thing that Jelly Roll's music accomplishes. Helping others feel less isolated is his main objective. The album Whiskey, Weed, and Women by Jelly Roll was released on August 6, 2013, and he once stated, music saved my life, and now I'm trying to use it to save other people. The eerie southern noises delighted him. He had originally intended to title it Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House. Waffle House informed him that they would be suing him on July 15th, a mere 3 weeks prior to the movie's release, for employing their name and logo. Despite this, Jelly Roll persisted. Immediately, he renamed the CD and substituted the picture on the cover with a large cease and desist stamp. This astute action reframed the legal issue as a springboard for discussing the music. His distinctive blend of hip-hop, rock, and country was showcased throughout the album's 22 tracks. It stood out due to the powerful singing and moving lyrics. The record was quite significant for an independent act such as Jelly Roll. Despite an initial week of 1,800 copies sold and a debut at #50 on the Billboard R&B hip-hop chart, many appreciated its authenticity and rawness. A huge hit in the underground scene, the title track had racked up over 15 million streams by the year 2024. Though it helped him stand out, Jelly Roll's distinctive style ultimately hurt his career. There wasn't a particularly genre that his albums and mixtapes belonged. Together with Struggle Jennings, he composed country and outlaw rock music from 2013 through 2020. He performed on stage with Wayne and Willie in 2016. Then in 2017, he returned to hip-hop with an improved sound after a shocking tragedy. However, radio stations and internet services had a hard time deciding where to place him due to his frequent moves. Jelly Roll told Billboard in 2019 that he felt out of place. "I'm too hip-hop for country and too country for hip-hop," said the rapper. In terms of music, it's like being on the streets. He was irate because labels didn't know how to challenge him. In 2018, he contemplated permanently ending his music career. However, he was assisted by Brantley Gilbert, a well-known country music artist whom he encountered in 2019. He should remain faithful to his country roots while establishing his own sound, Gilbert advised. Throughout that period, Jelly Roll's struggles with Broken by Jelly Roll was born in 2021. Throughout that period, Jelly Roll's struggles with addiction persisted. In 2012, he confessed to spending over $1,000 daily on drugs. He discussed his worst moment, an overdose on narcotics and fentanyl on July 15, 2013, in a podcast from the year 2024. He was only saved after receiving 3 doses of narc. Following that, he made an effort to stop using and succeeded for 18 months before finally giving up in 2015. His treatment included multiple programs, the most recent of which were an outpatient program in 2016 and a 90-day program in 2016. It was challenging for Jelly Roll to maintain her sobriety. In 2018. In April 2023, he relapsed and used cocaine for 37 days due to the attention he received. However, since May 17, 2023, Jelly Roll has abstained from all narcotics and alcohol. He credits his wife, Bunnyso, 12-step programs and counseling for his sobriety. His 20-month sobriety began on January 20th and ended on January 25th. In order to keep himself motivated, he got a sobriety chip and tattooed his recovery date on his wrist. The release of Save Me on June 26, 2020 had a profound impact on Jelly Roll's life. It was unfortunate that the song was released during the COVID-19 lockdowns. The loss of his father had left him feeling lonely and sorrowful. The way Jelly Roll described it, it was a melancholy period when everyone was tidying up, and he felt trapped in his misery. Save Me was incredibly honest and heartfelt down to the last word. The song quickly gained a lot of fans. Millions of people had viewed the acoustic version on YouTube more than 200 million times by the year 2025. Listeners confided in Jelly Roll that the song was an inspiration to them while they battled addiction or mourned the loss of a loved one. Additionally, the song sounded different. Even though Jelly Roll was country influenced, the hip-hop influence was still there. People who enjoyed hip-hop, rock, country, and other genres found it unique due to the variety of styles it contained. Surprisingly, it even charted in all 3 categories. The success of the song prompted record labels to express interest in signing him. They got Jelly Roll signed to BBR band-owned label Stony Creek Records. To Jelly Roll in country music, this was crucial. He certainly didn't look or act like your average country music. Tattooed and with a criminal record, he was 36 years old, but the record label signed him for $3 million, thinking he could infuse country music with a fresh sound. He got ahead thanks to this deal. Among the most important, the plan called for the release of 3 albums every 5 years with a lot of assistance. After years of perseverance on her own, this was a major accomplishment for Jelly Roll. Shortly after signing his first major label deal, Jelly Roll's Ballads of the Broken was released on September 17, 2021. The record was forthright and near. In it, he discussed his struggles with substance abuse and mental illness, as well as his intentions to make a change. It contained hip-hop, rock, and country, which made it unique among records. Hits like Dead Man Walking, which peaked at number 1 on the rock charts in its first month, and Son of a Sinner were among them. Atop Billboard's country chart, it garnered over 100 million plays. In his social media posts about his life and music, Jelly Roll gave his fans a better sense of who he was. Because it was honest and unique, critics hailed the album as a top country release of the year. The fact that Jelly Roll was able to put his own spin on country music proved that he was more than just another artist. An important goal was reached by Jelly Roll in 2023. In the country music industry, one of his songs, Son of a Sinner, reached number 1. It was well worth the nearly year-long struggle to reach the peak. The lyrics, which dealt with suffering and salvation, rang true on a deeply personal level. Its nearly 1 million copies sold earned it a Platinum Award, and it peaked at number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100. This is proof of its widespread appeal. At this very moment, Jelly Roll's fate hinged on this. years. Mine can all the wrong decision is a thing to a guy who grew up raised Brent the first 25 years of his life. Jelly Roll said when the song did well, emphasizing that the success of the song wasn't solely determined by the charts. The point was to demonstrate that success is possible for anyone, regardless of their background. Many significant events and peculiar connections occur throughout Jelly Roll's career in country music. One of the high points of his career was his collaboration with Brantley Gilbert, the old country music superstar. For their first collaboration in June of 2022, they recorded Son of the Dirty South together. In this song, the rapping style of Jelly Roll and the country rock sound of Brantley blended to create something fresh and exciting. Beyond music, their tie was According to what Jelly Roll has said in the past, Brantley is the second most frequent phone caller after his wife, Bunnyso. As part of a brief tour, dubbed the Son of the Dirty South Summer Tour, they traveled from Jacksonville, Florida to Brandon, Mississippi. Together, they composed music. The tour included 5 performances. How well they got along live was a huge hit with the audience. They continued to collaborate musically, and in 2023, they released a single titled Behind Bars, featuring Struggle Jennings. This song incorporated elements of rock, hip-hop, and country into Jelly Roll's Wits at Chapel album. The most shocking thing, though, was that they've been 2023. As Brantley put it in 2024, we've written enough songs to release it. The release of this album has the potential to revolutionize country music. Jelly Roll's debut performance on November 13th, 2021 at the Grand Ole Opry was a deeply moving moment in his life. This was something he prioritized at home and in the office. He found solace in country music while serving his sentence in 2008. In the wake of Jelly Roll's release from prison, he recalled being moved to tears by Craig Morgan's performance at the Opry. He was in the 7th row of the Opry when Craig Morgan performed live. Years later, when Jelly Roll stepped onto the stage, he indicated the precise seat he had occupied at the time. His set list that night included Son of a Sinner, Save Me, and Dead Man Walking. He dedicated his rendition of Save Me to all those who have ever felt hopeless but have subsequently discovered another level of self-worth. The poignancy of the song was amplified by this. That was just the beginning. The Opry featured a performance by Craig Morgan and Jelly Roll in April 2022. They performed Craig's Almost Home, a song he had written. On top of that, Craig provided Jelly Roll with a hard copy of the lyrics. It felt as though I had gone full circle. Now that Jelly Roll had listened to Craig in prison, she is playing with him. One more momentous occasion was when Jelly Roll won the 2023 CMA Awards. He was honored with the title of New Artist of the Year on November 8th, 2023. One of the oldest winners ever was the 39-year-old. Backstage, he dropped and broke his prize, but he still managed to tell the audience, "Go on, sweetheart," during his victory speech. His excitement shone through. He chose to laugh it off and even made a TV joke about it later, comparing it to his own life and saying that it was messy but real. On June 2, 2023, his album Wits at Chapel was released, which was another significant event. He attended the church as a child, and the name came from there. It was a deeply personal song. For the first time in country music history, it debuted at #3 on the Billboard 200 and #2 on the Top Country Albums charts. Throughout the album, Jelly Roll composed each of the 13 tracks. Artists such as Brantley Gilbert, Lainey Wilson, and rapper Yellow Wolf were among his collaborators. Songs like Halfway to Hell and Dancing with the Devil, which are centered around faith and forgiveness, were impacted by this. Both the record's honesty and its emotional depth were lauded by critics. History was also written during Jelly Roll's journeys. On the 2023 Backroad Baptism Tour, he was the headliner and he performed at 44 different venues around the nation. Various musical artists, including Elle King, 3-6 Mafia, and Chase Rice performed on the show. More than 18,000 people packed into Nashville's Bridgestone Arena to see him perform, and he still managed to sell out the show. In 2024, he plans to tour Canada, and in 2025, he and Post Malone will surprise fans with a stadium tour. Jelly Roll is bridging musical boundaries with this strange combination of a pop hip-hop icon and a country music singer. 2022 was the lowest point in Jelly Roll's battle with food addiction. On that particular day, he saw 563 pounds on the scale. Over the years, he had relied on food as a means of self-medication, consuming over 10,000 calories daily. On January 5, 2025, he spoke candidly about this in an interview. According to him, when no one else was around, he would watch multiple episodes of a TV show in one sitting and devour entire pizzas by himself. He went so far as to confess that he had snacks stashed in his tour van. On March 3, 2023, he consumed a gallon of Coke, 2 large pizzas, and 37 chicken wings in one shocking incident. He ended up having to visit the hospital later on due to the severe pain in his chest. It was a warning. Then he made up his mind to seek assistance. He sought help from a chef and a therapist who specialized in food addiction after struggling for some time. A wedding cake that was meant for 200 people was consumed by him in the span of 2 days. He expressed his inability to cope with the subsequent feelings of shame and guilt in October 2021. There was a complete shift beginning on January 15, 2024. When Jelly Roll played to a sold-out crowd at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, 20,000 screaming fans cheered him on. In order to make a significant statement, he halted his performance midway through. He stated to the audience, "I'm tired of being the fat guy in country music. Tonight, I promise myself and all of you that by this time next year, I will be half the man I am now." Even though they were cheering, the crowd had no clue he would go to extreme lengths to fulfill his vow. Without delay, Jelly Roll set to work. The following day, he enlisted the aid of 3 personal trainers, one for each area of exercise, in his quest to alter his relationship with food. A hypnotherapist, a sleep specialist, 4 nutritionists, and others were brought in to assist him. Everything in his house was transformed into a fitness center. It was perfect in every way. It had a basketball court, a spa large enough to accommodate his entire band, and an Olympic-sized pool. There was no other diet plan like his Nashville hot chicken regimen. It would allow him to enjoy his beloved food without compromising his well-being. With lean turkey breast and special spices, his cooks created a version that tasted identical to the original, but with 75% fewer calories. He consumed this 5 times daily with low-carb vegetables and a sweet tea-flavored protein drink. On a daily basis, Jelly Roll exerted himself to the same degree. Starting his day at 4:30 a.m., he walked 5 miles around his property. At times, his admirers would gather outside his gates to greet him. 2 hours prior to 7 in the morning, he went swimming. He then spent the next 3 hours honing his basketball skills. He worked out and lifted weights in the afternoon. Before turning in for the night, he meditated and practiced yoga. He persisted even when on tour. Along with the towns he passed, he walked the same distance on his bus thanks to a machine. Heat treatment was one of his wildest activities. For $500,000. He purchased a cryo room. His regimen included 3 daily 3-minute sessions at 230 degrees F. What followed was a 20-minute session in a spa heated to 220 degrees F. According to him, it resulted in an additional 3,000 calories burned daily. Contrarily, some medical professionals expressed concerns about its safety. Social media users widely disseminated details regarding Jelly Roll's daily weigh-ins, blood tests, and measurements. On March 3, 2024, he uploaded a video of himself wearing shorts that he hadn't worn since high school. His sobs soon turned into real ones. As evidence of its immense popularity, the video was viewed by more than 50 million individuals in a single day. As a result of fans posting about their weight loss, a trend known as the Jelly Roll Challenge. In just 6 months, Jelly Roll had lost 150 pounds by June 24. He had to reschedule his tour dates to accommodate new publicity shots and resize his stage clothes due to his drastic transformation. More than 500,000 people have joined his official weight loss support group on Facebook as a direct result of his story. Unexpected information regarding Jelly Roll's eating problems was revealed. It wasn't simply due to excessive eating. Some connection to his history of drug use was involved. When he binged, the regions of his brain that processed drugs were also active. He finally understood why he had so much trouble sticking to diet plans. He adjusted his approach to recovery once he came to this realization. Separate discussions of food and addiction were avoided by him. He devised a successful strategy after consulting with specialists. His life was greatly impacted by therapy. Since September 2022, he has logged over 500 hours of therapy sessions, spread out over 5 weekly sessions. He dug deep into his past during these gatherings and confronted some uncomfortable realities. Important events occurred during a specific treatment in March 2023. In a manner he had long since forgotten, he recalled being abused. In order to recover, he had to endure the pain. He began attending meetings 3 times weekly as part of his treatment plan with Overeaters Anonymous. But that wasn't the end of it. Jelly Roll took a brief break in the Mojave Desert in July 2023. It was difficult. Without food, they put in long hours of mental labor during the first 2 days. He came to terms with the impact his relationships were having on him while on vacation. This forced him to make significant adjustments to his private life. Additionally, he experimented with hallucinogenic therapy, hypnosis, and horseback rides. After just 1 class, he reconciled with his father, with whom he hadn't spoken in 15 years. This led to an emotional meeting, which he discussed in a subsequent conversation. When Jelly Roll was under pressure, she rethought her coping mechanisms. He outfitted his tour bus with a meditation pod in early 2024. He would always give himself at least half an hour to unwind before his shows. He suffered a panic attack in February of 2024, forcing him to abruptly exit the stage during his performance. Every day, he also started penning songs. Being flawless was unimportant to him. He was merely expressing his emotions in that way. He composed over 300 musical works throughout his life. The possibility of its inclusion on an album exists for the distant future. Despite his hectic schedule, Jelly Roll made sure to attend to his health. Back in September of 2023, he did his first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. It became a means of controlling one's temper and learning to cope with anger. He progressed to blue belt status by year's end 2024 and even performed some new moves to demonstrate his improvement on stage. In addition to this, he experimented with applying extremely high temperatures. He alternated between extremely cold cryotherapy and hot baths 3 times a week. He felt better prepared for his travels and got a better night's sleep as a result. In fact, he spent $500,000 on a portable cold bath. Jelly Roll's openness about his struggles has touched many people. In April 2024, he revealed that he suffered from borderline personality disorder during a crucial discussion. It affected his relationships and work, he acknowledged. Additionally, he disclosed that he had contemplated suicide earlier this year. Talking about how therapy brought up painful memories, he made the comment in a podcast from August 2024. Many of his acquaintances sought assistance for their personal issues after listening.